Hi, and welcome to Excel Vocabulary. So we're going to be taking a look at a couple different things that we can do in an Excel spreadsheet and different parts that we name. So you'll see in cell A2 up here, again, when I click on it, it tells you what the cell number is, and also tells me that there's an X in the entry bar. So I can press enter and it will put that in. If I want to do a 0, well, I can click on the plus sign and that will enter it. If I click on the X box, then that will cancel. But I want this, so I'll click on the plus. Now you'll notice when we have these green highlighting around the cell that we have that little green box in the bottom right hand corner. When I move the cursor onto that box, it changes to a plus sign. Now that is what's called the fill box, and it's a useful trick that we can use. I want to count up from 0 by 2s. So I'm going to go plus, telling Excel this is an equation, click on the 0, and I want to go up by 2. So I go plus 2, hit enter. Now this tells Excel, grab the value in the cell above and add 2. So if I grab the fill box and fill down, it's going to count up by 2s for me. So I can count up by 1s, 2s, 3s, halves, quarters, whatever I want, which is a nice feature. Now I want to subtract 5 to get my y value. So if this was the equation y equals x minus 5, you'll see that in math, I can go plus, I want to grab my x value, and I want to subtract 5. So minus 5, enter. And again, because I entered an equation, I can fill down and all of that will change for me. So when I grab my value, x value of 30, we can see that it takes A18, which is 30, subtracts 5, and gives us 25 for an answer. Now, if we want to graph this information, we highlight everything. Always put your x-axis in the A column, or sorry, your left-hand column, and your y information in the second column. And we want to insert. So we can do all sorts of different graphs. So when I click on them, the nice thing is it often gives me options of what it will actually look like. So here are the different options I can have for my graph. I'm going to pick scatter with straight lines and markers. Perfect. Now I want to put in some information. So I can put in axes. I want my chart title, and I want to make it above. So I'm going to put in graph, enter, and it puts it in. If I want to do an axis title, horizontal, my x-axis, type it in, press enter, and it puts it down here for me. So I can do the same thing. The other one you often need is a y. So that is my primary vertical, y-axis. And I have that all nicely graphed out for me. And again, I can modify that graph, make changes, change the x-axis display, etc. But we'll leave that for other lessons. So I'm just going to delete my graph here. Now, the other thing you will often see is dates will get used. So to use a date, today is the 7th of February, 2021, enter. And if I want, I can add 1 to that date and keep track of those dates. Oops. Don't want that. Equals, click on my date, plus 1. Gives me tomorrow's date. If I want to keep going up by 1s, I fill down. And you'll notice it starts giving me hashtags. The hashtag is an indication of the fact that this column is too narrow for what we want. So I can go up and enlarge it, and we can see it's counting up dates. Let's grab our last few dates here, and we're going to format them. So I come up here to my number formatting, and we have short dates, or I can do a long date. And again, I need to make it a little bit wider for that. And even wider for that. We can even go into more options. So here you can see we've got dates. We can change them, and it gives me an example of what that will look like before I even type it in. So I can go back to more number formats, and you can see there is all sorts of options of how to do dates. All right. So look through the vocabulary, and good luck.